Hare Krishna. In the beginning of our movement, when I first joined and my wife, we both were encouraged to move right into the temple. It was a basically monastic life where the men and the women lived separately. We were all celibate, and we had a regular process of going to bed early and getting up early. And everyone knows who's practiced any type of yoga that the early morning hours are the most favorable towards meditation and upliftment in spiritual matters. Even just writers sometimes wake up that early just so they can get better ideas, and also to have stillness. The ether is very calm. There's not so much of the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance. The energy is more in the mode of goodness. So we rise early at generally 4 in the morning, and we have our first kirtan of the day called Mangal Artik, meaning the auspicious kirtan that lasts for about a half hour, followed directly by japa, which is individual chanting for about 2 hours on our Hare Krishna beads. And then we have one more kirtan glorifying the spiritual master, and then we have the icing on the cake of the morning program is the Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is from the Vedic scriptures written over 5,000 years ago. The Srimad Bhagavatam is known as the cream of the Vedic literatures. This program has been going on in our temples since pretty much 1968, and it still goes on. We've shifted now. In the 80s and 90s, we saw a shift where many of the celibate devotees like myself and others, single men, single ladies, we have moved out of the temples and created our own families. And more than ever, our movement is based on a congregational movement, so that most of the people in our who are Hare Krishna devotees, they live outside the temples. So the process of Krishna consciousness, though, is available even to them. It basically means that we're using our time and energy to serve Krishna and to glorify Krishna and to remember Krishna. There are 9 processes, of which the most important are hearing, chanting, and remembering. We hear about Krishna, and then we chant about Krishna, and we remember about Krishna. Actually, all of us are originally Krishna conscious. Krishna conscious is dormant within the hearts of all living entities. But due to contact with this, coming into this material world, we become marginal, and we identify ourselves with this material body, which is not who we really are. It's just a temporary covering. So the process of Krishna consciousness brings us back to remembering Krishna, which is our original constitutional position. You could give the example of a man or a person who has amnesia. Amnesia is a disease. Usually it happens when somebody falls off a bicycle or gets in an accident, and he bangs his head, and he all of a sudden wakes up to being totally unaware of who he is, where he is, what his name is, which is factually the way it is here in this material world. We don't really know who we are, what our purpose is in life. And the process for getting back to our original, or getting free from amnesia, is they allow the patient to be in association with their family, to be in the home, to just spend time with their loved ones, and gradually over time it starts to click in. It starts to wear on to them that they are who they really are. And this is exactly what Krishna consciousness is. We practice specifically chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, and that mantra, man means mind and tra means deliver. So the mantra delivers our mind from material consciousness to spiritual and puts us directly in contact with Krishna, the super soul who's in our hearts already. And we get to actually experience Krishna's presence in his name. In this particular age that we're living in, Kali Yuga, it's explained, Hari Nama, Hari Nama, Hari Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalona Stevana, Stevana, Steva Gatiranyata. In the iron age that we're living in, when people are short-tempered, they have short lives, they have short memories, and they have a very short attraction towards spiritual life. The recommended process is to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and this gives us direct contact with Krishna, who's actually come down from the spiritual world in this transcendental sound vibration. It is not of this material world. And so this is our prime activity. We enjoy chanting, and there's two processes, the chanting on the beads and the kirtan, which we do congregationally, or sometimes we go out on the streets and chant. And this is our gift to, it's explained that when one chants congregationally, the mantra even becomes more powerful and more relishable and really brings great happiness. You'll see, if you see any of us chanting Hare Krishna in congregation, you'll see most everyone is dancing, they're smiling, they're happy. It's not just an artificial thing, but they're actually experiencing the love of Krishna and experiencing peace and happiness. And they're dancing. It's a natural tendency to want to dance when you chant the Hare Krishna mantra. You're directly in touch with Krishna, and it brings great upliftment. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.